So once you've got your objects set up their scale and their shading and their triangle count, it's time to export. So following up on the last video, we have all those steps done. Let's now turn these into FBXs that we can then deliver, and then they will join Unreal. We've got two objects in our project right now. It's important that we select only the objects we want to export. So I'm going to select this fin object, and we can hide the rag object, but we still need to make sure that what we want to export is the thing that's selected. So in the format we're using, we're going to go to File, Export, FBX. Now the settings we're going to select to export are very specific to the kind of output we're working on today. I'm going to go through the important settings, and we can save these as a preset so you can use them again and again. However, there might be times in the future where you want to export as an FBX, and these settings might need to be different. But for today, let's leave it here. So this first one, limit to selected objects, and that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. We want to make sure we have selected and highlighted just what we want to export. And we also want to just make sure we filter that to mesh. Sort of redundant here, but it's a good idea just to select that we're only exporting the meshes. Our scale can stay at 1 because we've scaled our model. These forward and up directions, those can stay the same as the defaults. Okay, we've already applied our transform, so we want to make sure that can be unchecked in this case. We also want to come down to where it says geometry and expand this, and next to smoothing, change this from normals only to face. Okay, we can leave these as their defaults. We shouldn't have any modifiers. It's okay to leave that box checked, but if you are running with different modifiers that you don't want to export, you would uncheck that. And we can also uncheck bake animation. We shouldn't have any animation, but we'll just, for safety's sake, leave that unchecked. Okay, now we'll give this a file name that's meaningful to us, and we can hit export. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a preset. So if I scroll up here to the top where it says operator preset, I'm going to click this plus button and add a new operator preset and call this, I'm going to call it export static mesh to Unreal. Okay, a static mesh, in this case something that's not animated. You can call it whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to click OK. So now when I click on operator preset, I see my export static mesh to Unreal is ready to go, and we can click export. Now if we want to select our other object, we can cycle these through and make sure we have this one selected. And if I go to File, Export, FBX, with my preset, I'll go to Export Static Mesh to Unreal, give this a different name. Okay, I believe it's red because it's noticed that it's already got a similar file with that name in here. Let's call this rag scan seed object and click export. Okay, so that's exporting from Blender to Unreal in an FBX format for a plain static mesh.